Are you wondering about the real estate market in Montgomery County right now? Well, that's what we're talking about today. So let's dive right in. Today is July 8th, 2020, and after 60 days of countywide stay-at-home orders and an additional 30 days of Phase 1, we've moved into Phase 2 of opening up. If you'd like current information about what's happening with COVID in Montgomery County, you'll find the link to the county dashboard in the remarks below. Today we'll go through an overview of the June numbers for Montgomery County so you can get a sense of what's been going on in the real estate market in the past 30 days. I've also included numbers for June of 2019 to help you get a little perspective about how it compares to what was going on a year ago. We'll start with total active properties. June 2020, 1,378. June 2019, 2,419. That's a decrease of 43%. New pendings, 1,227 in June of 2020. 1,412 in June of 2019. That's a decrease of 13%. New listings, 1,312 in June of 2020, 1,686 in June of 2019. That's a decrease of 22%. Expired, withdrawn, and canceled properties, 396 in June of 2020, 334 in June of 2019. That's an increase of 18%. And last, total settled properties, 1,122 in June of 2020, 1,306 in June of 2019. That's a decrease of 14%. So, as you can see, the numbers have moved down substantially year over year, which is what we would have expected. But the balance between new listings or supply and new pendings or demand has stayed about the same, and maybe even tipped a little bit more in the seller's favor. Houses that are attractively priced and show well are selling quickly and often with multiple offers. Something interesting to note, in June there were 1,312 new houses that came on the market, but 1,623 that were taken out of the market as either pending or expired, withdrawn, or canceled. In April, the margin was almost 2 to 1. Then in May, there was a 40% spread, and now it's down to about 19% for June. So that's changed, but still, the increase in new listings are not keeping pace with new contracts and houses being taken off the market. So inventory shrinks even further. Next, let's take a brief look at the days on market and list to sell ratios for the month of June. Median days on market for sold properties was 13 days. Median days on market for active under contract properties was 12. Median days on market for full pending properties was 8. The list to sell ratio was 100%, and just for historic perspective, the list to sell ratio over the past 5 years has been 98.5%. These are all signs of a healthy market. Another interesting thing I noticed is the new contract activity week over week was trending up 3 out of the 4 weeks of the month. Week 1, 253 new contracts. Week 2, 372. Week 3, 339. And Week 4, 407 properties went under contract. So contract activity in the last week of June versus the last week of May was 10% higher. Whenever I talk to people, they always want to know, how's the market? As I said in the last 2 months worth of updates, before coronavirus we were in a very strong seller's market, and the month of June hasn't really shown us any change. If anything, the market has tightened even more as inventory has shrunk even further. Just to give you a little personal perspective, I've written 3 offers for buyers in the past 30 days. All of them were multiple offer situations. All of my buyers went at least $50,000 over the asking price, and none of them were winners. It is really tough out there as a buyer. Of course, things could move to a more balanced market or even a buyer's market in the future. Now that the county is opening up, we'll all be watching to see how businesses adapt and if the public feels comfortable getting back out there and how sellers feel about having people coming into their houses. It's going to be a balancing act for all of us between the itch of cabin fever and concerns about health and safety. The fundamentals of the housing market are still strong, and if the economy recovers quickly, then it should remain solid for the rest of the year and into 2021. So here are some final thoughts. It seems that our local real estate market continues to show strength, largely driven by the huge imbalance between supply and demand. As we work our way into summer, I'll watch the trends carefully and see how the buyers and sellers move into the next phase of the 2020 real estate market. If you feel like you're ready to buy or sell, there are certainly opportunities out there, as you can see from the numbers I shared with you, especially if you're a seller. If you're in a position where you aren't quite ready yet, it's a good time to start planning so that when you're comfortable moving forward, you'll be ready. You might think that it's too early, but the whole process almost always takes longer than people expect, and you're better off being ready a little bit ahead of the curve than too late. If the number of coronavirus cases continue to trend flat or lower and people become more comfortable, then we may see supply start to open up, which would certainly be a welcome change. If you'd like to see one of my recent videos about how the real estate business has started to go virtual, click here. And if you'd like to subscribe to my channel so that you can get updates as they come out, click there. If you have any questions for me, my contact information is below, or you can leave a comment in the remarks. Take care and stay safe.